How do you know when it's too windy to go out cleaning windows? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through my thought process to make these decisions. Problem is with water-fed pole, when you're cleaning the window, it's going to be left wet. And as we know, with high winds, it's going to blow up all the dust and the dirt and the grit. And this is then going to blow onto the wet window. It's going to contaminate the water, bringing up the TDS levels. So when it dries, it's going to dry spotty. So going out cleaning windows in high winds is not generally a good idea. So when do we make these decisions? If the wind's over 30 miles an hour, I don't go out window cleaning. If it's below, I'll go for it. Now there are differences because you may get winds of around 25 miles an hour, for example, with gusts of 35. And that puts you in a bit of a grey area. So this is how I work it out. Basically, I'll go out and study the wind for a bit. And if the gusts are rather frequent and for long periods of time, then I'll lean towards a no. If the gusts, however, are short and infrequent, then I'll lean towards a yes. Some of the problems you'll also find is when you're cleaning higher windows, you're going to fight the wind with your pole. You're going to have to lean the brush into the wind, and then gusts come and go. So sometimes you're overcompensating, and you can even get a strong gust, and that's just going to blow your brush off the window. If I'm going to struggle too much, I'll also lean towards a no because it's pretty pointless. Some areas I go to, they're in built up areas, and what I find is they're quite sheltered, and I'll lean towards a yes. But I'll show you opposite where I live. Well, you can see we've got open fields, so that's definitely a no, because you're going to get more grit blowing around onto the windows than in an urban area perhaps where you're a bit sheltered. So you're also going to have to do all this through trial and error and getting to know your customers. Another little thing to take into account is if it's hot, dry and dusty, you're more likely to get grit and dirt all blown up in the air. However, if it's a day where it's been raining, it's going to be quite wet and it's going to keep all the grit and the dust down. So I take this into account as well. Now, if the wind's going to make your working day a bit longer, and depending on the time of year, like during the winter months where you're fighting the dark, it's probably not worth doing it. Whereas in the summer, you've got a bit longer daylight to use, so you could start later and finish later, but still get your days working. Now, it's not nice cooling off, not going out to work, because you're going to lose a day's wage, but also it's not worth going out for the whole day, but just only complete half a day's work. So at some point, you're going to have to make a decision to say, no, that's it, I can't go out and work, and I'm best off using a day I've lost to do a day's worth of admin that I don't normally get to do, like phoning up your suppliers, sorting out your van, and tinkering and fixing certain bits of kit and equipment. Right, I hope these tips and advice are something that's going to help you out if you're someone who struggles making these decisions. But the only way you're going to get to do this and fine tune it is trial and error, and by making these decisions and seeing how they work for you. You'll be surprised. Sometimes a little bit of a gamble pays off, but sometimes you just got to draw a line, wipe the day off, but make best of the production time by getting on with other stuff you don't normally get on with. See you on the next video.